Our Place in the Universe is an earth science unit incorporating ideas on how the components of our solar system and universe work together to create patterns we observe and experience on Earth. Let's look into the unit at a glance. This unit covers several 5th grade earth science standards about the solar system and the patterns we observe on Earth as a result of the interaction of objects within our solar system, including day, night, and the seasons. Each of the next generation science standards correspond to a Missouri Learning Standard listed in parentheses on this chart. There is one standard that is Missouri Learning Standard only. Take a moment to pause the video and review them. In this unit, students try to figure out why daylight hours are longer in the winter and shorter in the summer. The anchoring phenomenon used to connect students to the science content is the idea that daylight hours change throughout the year. So how does the way our solar system works cause this? After each lesson, students will reflect to consider what they have learned that will help them figure out the answers to the questions they have about why daylight hours are longer in the summer and shorter in the winter. The design challenge for this unit is a culminating activity in Lesson 8. Students will gather, represent, and interpret data about sunrise and sunset times, temperature, and time of day for different locations in order to write an opinion piece about where they would prefer to spend their birthday, in the St. Louis area or their chosen location. Now that we have an idea about what students will study in this unit, take a look at the unit flowchart. This unit is divided into 3 sections and there are 8 lessons total. Section 1 asks students to explain what the solar system is and how gravity affects the objects within the solar system. This section will take about 5 days. Here are some of the content-level big ideas for Section 1 and how students will figure them out. To begin with, students will use a probe, solar system card sort, and text and video resources to define a system, such as the solar system, as a collection of objects that influence one another. Also in this section, students will conduct investigations in which they drop various objects and observe patterns in how they fall, to figure out that gravity is a force that pulls objects near the Earth's surface to the planet's center. Section 2 asks students to dive deeper into how the solar system functions as a system by figuring out how the movements of the Earth in relation to the Sun cause patterns we observe in everyday life, like day and night, a year, the apparent position of the Sun in the sky, and the daily changes in length and direction of shadows. This section will take about 8 days. Students develop and use a model to explain how the Earth's counterclockwise rotation on its axis causes patterns of day and night. Students will also use models to explain how the Earth's counterclockwise revolution around the Sun causes yearly seasonal patterns. Also in this section, students will analyze sunrise and sunset charts to determine the length of daylight hour variation throughout the year at different locations on Earth. They will use models of the Earth-Sun system to explain what causes patterns in daylight hours on Earth. They will figure out that daylight hours are longer in the summer months and shorter in winter months. The tilt of Earth's axis is the reason that some days are longer than others. This tilt, and the revolution of Earth around the Sun, causes the seasons. Finally, students will construct a sundial model to investigate how shadow length changes throughout the day. They will figure out that shadows move from west to east and are longer in the morning and late afternoon and shorter at noon. This phenomena is as a result of the Earth's counterclockwise rotation on its axis. Section 3 focuses on patterns we observe in the night sky, including moon phases and star brightness. Section 3 also includes the culminating design challenge. This section will take about 13 days. Students will explore the patterns of the moon over the course of a month and use models to explain what causes moon phases. They will figure out that the rotation of Earth causes the moon to appear to move across the sky. The revolution of the moon around the Earth, as the Earth orbits the sun, causes the phases of the moon. The changing phases of the moon represent a cycle that occurs over the course of 28 days. Next, students will conduct investigations and obtain information through text and video resources to explain the relationships between the distance of stars from Earth and their apparent brightness. Students will use planisphere models to explain patterns of stars in the night sky throughout a night and the year. They will figure out that some stars look bright because their relative distance to the Earth is closer than other stars. Other stars appear equally bright even though they are many times further away from Earth because they have high luminosity. Additionally, stars appear to move across the night sky, and different stars are observed in the night sky throughout the year. These patterns are caused by the rotation and revolution of the Earth. By the end of this unit, students will understand how the motions of the Earth-Sun-Moon system cause observable patterns on Earth. For more information, please visit our website, myscipartners.com. mySci, inspiring the next generation of scientists.